Let me say a hearty good morning once again to those of you listening Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Those of you viewing us via GBN TV, what is of course, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channels 20. Good morning and welcome. And it's the mid-morning buzz. Let me say good morning to my guests. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, sir. Good morning.
All right, we have with us this morning Mr. Samuel Andrew, hope I'm getting the names right, and Mr. Marlon Thomas. Our conversation this morning as it relates to is it the extension wing of TAMCC at the Maribor Agricultural?
It's a Maribor campus.
The Maribor campus. All right, that's our nature for our conversation this morning. Yeah. And there's a particular project that should we take a bit, or will be starting at the Maribor, of course, campus. Tell us how we move with that as we get things started off this morning.
Well, I don't know if you're referring to the government initiative with regards to the extension of the pig production.
Okay.
This is an imminent project that should be started shortly with the government Ministry of Agriculture. But generally, we have our programs ongoing. And of course, we look to members of the public in terms of the young people to register for associated with program and other such programs that we have from time to time.
All right. Tell us more about this particular project that has been planned to, of course, to initiate it pretty soon, of course, at the farm. Tell us a little bit more about the project.
Well, I think this is in keeping with government's desire to propel the agricultural sector. So with engagement with the Ministry of Agriculture, I think, and the funding agencies, we have decided to increase the stock of pig production.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get pure breeds of pigs along the fence tracks and to more or less track them so the farmers could get access to high quality Duroc pigs and large white, etc., etc.
Right.
I think it's a matter of food security and food, production increases.
And you are tracking the folks from TAPCC, the younger folks in particular. Why think it's important to attract the younger people to be part of this particular initiative?
But what we have seen in recent times, I mean, just to backtrack a bit, over the years, the Maribor campus has been a stalwart within the region in terms of providing services to not only Dominica, but St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the other islands.
Okay.
And in recent times, we have seen a waning of the numbers in terms of registration and whatnot. We don't know if it's the stigma attached to agriculture or maybe the other alternatives with technology and other such opportunities. But we believe with the government's initiative in terms of moving the agriculture sector forward, we feel we could launch an appeal to young people that we have something that we could offer them.
Tell us about the opportunities that are available.
Yeah. You can chime in.
Of course, we can have Mr. Thomas chiming on that. Yeah. I mean, you being one of the farm manager at Maribor, tell us about the opportunities that are available, especially for younger folks being part of attending TAMCC and that extended campus up there and so forth. Tell us about the opportunities that are available.
Yes, that's one of the reasons we're here. We had to reach out to the young people that they can sign up for the campus and that they can get the opportunity. For one, I was a past student there, and now I'm the farm manager there.
Yes.
So the opportunity is open that they can do agro-processing, they can learn about that, they can be their own entrepreneur, they can have their own business, There is the opportunity of sorry.
All right.
Andrew, sorry.
Yeah,
maybe we could weigh in on some of the opportunity while you can recover some of his thoughts.
You see, the issue of career opportunities
yes.
are numerous. I think sometimes people tend to think that agriculture is only with gardening and dirty clothes and all these things. So this stigma is something that has contributed to a lack of interest in agriculture. This we want to change, because even on a career basis, you have things like agricultural engineering, crop consultants, horticulturists, you have agricultural extension officers. So there are a number of career opportunities that exist right now, agronomists and all these different things.
Yes. I mean, because I'm thinking about it now, because as you rightfully mentioned, folks look at agriculture as only someone going to a farmer there, or sort of the gardeners would say locally, wearing your boots and your cutlass and your whatever you're using. But there's a lot of other opportunities that's available in agriculture.
It's
the wider scope of it, and it's not just the regular working of the land part of it, which is also inclusive, right? It is also inclusive, but there's other opportunities.
Agricultural marketing,
the marketing,
product consultation,
and that's what and Grenada having a pretty young population right now with young folks, and most of them look at the opportunities that are more of the technological part of it, more technology and so forth. But and being part of the agricultural part of it could help to, of course, improve food security, as you rightfully mentioned.
Absolutely.
And so forth. Tell us about the plans, per se, the plans for this particular project. What are the plans for this particular project?
Well, it's a multifaceted approach we have in building the capacity to solve.
Yes.
And including technology. Recently, we received a farm bot from one of the corporate sponsors. And the idea is to use an integrated approach with robotics in the farming automation and different things like that. So there's a lot of chances, there are a lot of opportunities where you can use things like plastic culture, hydroponic systems and different things to show how we can integrate technology to increase food production. So that is where we could engage different students from different orientation into the agriculture sector.
All right. I mean, I'm understanding that this opportunity that what you hear is to encourage the youngsters to participate.
Because what we have noticed, not to chiding necessarily, but the average age of the farmers right now is about 50-something. 40 to 50s, and that's a concern on a national basis, a food security basis. That is a problem. In fact, we believe this age, those who involved directly in agriculture should drop to around, let's say, 25 to 30, where the younger set are taking on the opportunities to have their own businesses, to have their own farms, and to make their own money and create their own businesses, so they can take care of their wealth creation for themselves.
I think really the program is geared to show young people that there is a need for love in farming. There is a need to be involved in food security in your country, and it brings a need to be self-employed also. And this is one of the things that you can come up to Maribel Farm School and learn and live with that knowledge that you don't want to be a 24 hours or 8 hours day work, but you can even incorporate the technology in farming, like the farm bot. You can use the system that is readily available and the techniques that is readily available for you.
Incentive will play a critical part in this, in attracting young people. What are some of the incentives that are available for young people in being part of this particular project?
Well, what we hope to do is to engage the government on that.
Yes.
I think it's important that we find ways in which we can engage the government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Education, so that we have a synchronization between maybe the Ministry of Agriculture, the technical not GNAB, but also GNAB, but part of the technical institute, right? So then we can channel finances into improving the capacity and maybe scholarships as incentives, and whatever low-hanging fruit that we could get to support a child living in Guav and coming to the campus. So in fact, right now we are working on actually having the students live in the campus before they were commuting. So those are for students who live in Guelph and Victoria. In fact, we have one student now who's having a bit of difficulty in the second year. He lives quite, I think, in Guelph, and he has to commute every morning. So by reducing that commutation, then we can have them be more directly involved into the nitty-gritty of the morning and the evening, the caring, the intensive care for, and feel a part of it, like how, the ordinary farmer get up and go to the garden at 5:30. That kind of direct approach.
How can youngsters be part of this? What's the process that they have to go through, the registration process and so forth? What do we have to go through? Is there any particular qualification that is needed in order to be part of this? And so also,
yeah, well, the associate degree program required them to have CXC subjects, etc., etc. And they will register for the associate degree program. But what we are moving has to increase capacity to serve not only the students themselves, but also the wider community, like farmers.
All right.
So we are in the process of developing some short courses that we could roll out to farmers particularly and the general public. So in case you're interested in one area of agriculture, not necessarily your entire program, we could have you come into the apiculture.
All right.
Or queen rearing or whatever it is, a specific area you want to focus on, and we could tailor the program to be more practically oriented, and then with some theoretical framework and then whatnot, and then we can appeal to different persons of different persuasions. Just specific programs, whether it be poultry or whatever it is.
As I mentioned also, the registration. How can an individual register to be part of this?
Yes, they register through the admissions office.
Yes.
I think registration is normally around, I don't want to be correct, but normally around May, June, something around there.
All right.
So you could register for the associated program, general agriculture.
All right. Do an individual have to be attending TAMCC to be part of this, or is it open to youngsters that are interested but have some sort of level of qualification already? Is that possible?
Well, that is where we want to go.
That's where we want to go.
We want to try to develop a certificate program within the same 6 weeks matrix, so we can have students come, anybody come in and register for the short course, and leave with a certificate.
I understand as it being an extension of course project from TAMCC, but it's still open to the public in a way that if youngsters are interested.
We're going to roll that out shortly. That is being developed as we speak.
All right. So Thomas, tell us something more about you being the farm manager. Tell us something more about the farm that would, of course, there probably some youngsters who are listening to this program right now this morning, and they're just saying, you mentioned something about the farm and what's taking place that probably will offer some incentive for them to want to be part of a project of this nature.
Yeah. As a young person, even being the farm manager on the farm is a place where I've been. I went to school there, and I came back as a farm manager. The program is a program that will empower young persons to do proper crop rotation, will do proper intercropping, will learn livestock. You learn to take care of the animals. You learn how to do proper soil preparation, and a lot of the nitty-gritty of farming, and also it will get a piece of hydroponic also. All the different techniques that there is in farming. Young persons could grab onto those opportunities to learn how to not just seeing yourself working with somebody, but actually working for yourself as a young entrepreneur, as I mentioned before, and playing a major role in food security in your country. So I see farming for young persons not as just as a dirty work, but a work that can bring in a large sum of income for you. I mean, food is something that we
everybody needs
food.
Everybody needs food,
and I really think that's the way to go in this time that we live in.
Tell me, at the farm, is it more of the physical part of doing things, or is there a theoretical part of it also?
Well, yeah, at the farm is more a physical part of doing things. So you will actually get the practical aspects of preparing a platform from clearing to plowing to ridging and actually planting a seed, sowing a seed in the nursery and planting it to actually see the wonderful life give into fruit. So
the physical part is it more of the dominant part being on the farm? What about the theoretical part of it? They both have to mesh some way or the other. They have to mesh some way or the other.
We have the theoretical part of it where we have our courses. We do plant pathology, irrigation, and drainage. We have the different courses that we do. We have lectures. In fact, we were supposed to have one lecturer today, but he couldn't have made it. So the idea is to synchronize the theory and the practical, because the farm is supposed to support what is being taught in the classroom and the lecture halls must synchronize with what is taking place on the ground.
On the ground itself.
That's marriage.
All right.
So
All
you
right.
see
I'm assuming the grading factors and stuff that would lead to the actual individual getting their certification and so on. How that process rolls out?
But they have to do the practicals,
Yes.
and they must take the practicals seriously for matriculation. It's not an option; it's mandatory. So they have to take care of the animals. They have to get involved in slaughtering, preparing chickens for the market because we supply to customers like food land. So they have to be a part of it, doing the quality checks, all the specifications to make sure we have a complete product. That goods, crops are prepared properly and marketed properly. So it's a whole range of services, skills that you have to.
How has been the approach been thus far, especially from youngsters who have participated? Of course, we have Mr. Thomas saying he's been an individual that went through the process. Over the years, how has that process been in terms of attracting youngsters? Have we been getting that participation as
well? Those who have the passion,
yes,
they come in and they are successful. We have a number of success stories. In fact, we are working on a system where we want to engage these successful past students.
Can they do work as incentives for others who want to come in? You
Absolutely.
understand?
So we trying to work toward getting testimonials from these students that they can say. We have a lady up in Tenaju who's doing a very nice nursery. Yeah, they might be to go and visit her and talk to her about experiences, so that people could see actually this thing could work and the bottom line could be good. All right, so that's where we want to go. But we think the numbers are going to increase.
Yes.
We have more students this year going into the second year, because the second year takes place at the Mabel campus. The first year takes place at MCC. So we have maybe over 11, maybe close to 11 students in the first second year. And we hope with this promotion we can attract maybe up to 25 students to enter the program.
What is the maximum that the farm can cater for at one time?
Well, at the moment, I think 20 might be a number that we could deal with in terms of the housing capacity at the time. But we don't want to restrict that to a particular number. We want to, as the interest, we want to be able to build capacity.
Yeah.
So as the interest increases, then we're going to increase the capacity to house and through engaging the government and other agencies, we believe we can increase the capacity to house students and increase our offerings to the general public.
All right. My question too: the importance of course this particular project. How important do you believe it is, especially for Grenada and young people in general?
Well, extremely important, because if you look at what's happening now, in fact, I have a theory that food security is almost akin to national security. Because we have seen cases already where we've had external shocks, like the Ivan and the MLE, and the food situation became a major national security concern. So I think the government has some initiatives with root crops and whatnot. I think young people could target these kinds of initiatives, and with our training, we can get them to become self-sufficient in these areas, so that we can secure our food and therefore our national security collectively. We can't already depend on look at what's happening with the war now. If the shipping lanes are being blocked by different persons, it means we have to grow more food here.
All right. And I mean, in terms of the quality of the food, it's always going to be 100% better, despite wherever it comes from. But once you grow locally and so forth, it's always 100% in terms of the overall health of individuals.
Remember, we have the best soil in the world.
So true. So true. Anything in closing you want to mention before we take a wrap this morning? Maybe there's something that you wanted to mention that we may have bypassed for some reason or the other.
Well, I'll let Mr. Thomas have a word and I'll just make a wrap.
Sure, no problem. Good.
No, I really want young people to take this opportunity to come, so that they can love what they do and love farming, and see it as not just a dirty job, but a job that can gain them income and that can be an important aspect in your country.
All right. I mean, individuals also have a passion for it also. I mean, in whatever you do, despite whatever you do, if I've been on the radio, I had to have a passion for wanting to do it. You understand? Because sometimes it does not always work where an individual just come because the opportunities are able to go do it, and they don't have that personal passion for it. So they always have to have that personal passion for whatever you're doing also. So true. Anything closing from you, of course, Mr. Andrew?
Well, we hope we could work closely with the government. I think that's a very serious point we want to work with. I think maybe we could advocate that the government, through Ministry of Agriculture, sees TAMCC Mayboro campus as a little special something to cater for the agricultural needs of the country. We want to also welcome the assistance from the Chinese. They have been working with us, and we want to thank them for that.
Okay.
In fact, letters of comfort from the government, Ministry of Agriculture, will encourage them to give us some more assistance. So we look forward to that as well. And then we want to appeal to the general public, to support the campus as much as possible. Encourage your children into agriculture, because I think it's a best kept secret.
So true.
There is money in it.
Yeah.
But somehow it's like some boss men, they never make money yet. So there is financial viability in agriculture, career opportunities, and we want to appeal to the 4-H clubs, the 4-H, the Form 4 and Form 3s. See agriculture, we want to engage, we are going to engage the agricultural students, teachers in the secondary schools as well, to make sure that we could push this as a national agenda for food security and national security, and of course our GDP, everything.
All right. I mean, I'm seeing this once it gets to the capacity that you would like it to have, could of course generate a lot of employment for younger people.
Absolutely.
You understand? Generate, of course, the more food security for Grenada in general, and because young people these days they need that distraction from the other ways of the world right now.
Absolutely.
And opportunities like that certainly could be vital.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being on the program this morning. Thanks for coming on with Morning Buzz, and I certainly hope the parents who probably home right now and listening will encourage their sons and daughters to apply and be part of this.
Absolutely.
I understand.
Absolutely.
It may not be what they want to do, but sometimes it's something that they could just get that particular motivation. The motivation is always what is needed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You get that motivation to want to do it. They've probably been seeing their mom and dad doing a little backyard gardening. Never participated before, but once they get that offer, that encouragement, and get the opportunity to come and be when you start to do something, is when you start to do it, then you develop the passion for it.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you're sitting on the outside and you're watching it, as of course Mr. Thomas said, it's not about just dirty in your hands. There's lots more that of course is beneficial for you as an individual.
And there's also opportunities to engage other other schools, because even recently I was invited by the Defense Minister for Agriculture. He came to the campus and he invited us to come up sometime next term to have exchanges and whatnot.
Okay.
So even within the region, we could expand their horizons as they take part in the agricultural programs that
it boasts a lot of benefits, of course.
Absolutely.
All right. Once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the program this morning, and I certainly hope the listeners and viewers over there will offer the necessary encouragement to the young people, because it's who you really want to attract.
Absolutely.
The young people you want to attract to come on out and be part of this. Thanks again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having us.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for this edition of the Mid-Morning Buzz. Join us again for another edition. That's where we say goodbye.